Okay, it is straight up 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
True realtor fashion. We're gonna start on time. Little Tuesday morning humor. I'm Karen Hillman. Hello, everybody. I'm the TL here at KW Living. Thank you. Somebody's helping me out there. Today, David Presserin is going to be leading us through, we're going to be in section number 5 called lead generation. But I want to talk a minute about section 4, because you probably noticed in your book that we skipped section 4. So this is normally a 20-week class. We've shortened it to 20 weeks. I'm sorry, 20 class program, and we've shortened it to 18 to get you done in 6 weeks. So I encourage you to go through your participant guides and read through that section about developing your brand, developing your value. And as a real estate expert, you need to know what your value is and how you show up against your competition. So take the time to do that. How'd you do over the weekend? Did everybody get caught up in their assignments, in their participant guides? Good. All right, great. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So David, tell us about you a little bit before we get started.
How far back now?
When'd you get
I got
licensed?
licensed in 2013. Went full time, quit everything, in February 4th of 2014.
A year later,
Literally like 2 months later.
2 months later.
Jumped in on the CP Trevisano real estate team. And haven't looked back since.
Awesome.
So I started off as his lead buyer specialist.
Yeah,
And then as I've kind of grown throughout the years, my goal was to be like a well-rounded agent.
yeah,
So I wanted to start getting into listings and things of that nature. So buying listings, so I would like consider myself like a realtor now. It's great.
fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous. How has your life changed since when you started to
Yeah.
now?
Crazy difference. I'm like a night and day type of person. I was kind of like play too much, go out too much, hang out too much, and still go out and play and stuff. But it was a lot of the term entrepreneurial to purposeful.
Yeah,
I became extremely purposeful, got very focused on what I wanted to accomplish. I scheduled all the important stuff first.
yay, that's
all the big
great.
rocks,
Yeah,
right? All the
yeah.
big rocks. And then, I really don't even feel the other dirt in, it's just a waste of time. So it's lead generation, that was my major focus, and it changed my business, it changed my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, let's go.
Cool. All right, so really quick, I just want to go over, I strongly believe you have to start with the end in mind, right? Like we need to know where this journey is going to take us and what we want to achieve. Like, what is A, what is Z? So starting with Z, and this is, we're going to lead to Z somehow, some way. So I was looking at the average sale price is about 243,000. So on the buy side of that, so on a $243,000 listing, commission is 6%. That's $14,580. If it's a 3-2 split on the buyer side, you're getting 5860. On the list side, you're getting 8720. See the difference? A little bit difference there, right? Now, if you take taxes out at 35%, you are at 3,800 on the buy side, and you're at 5,668 on the list side. So that's a difference of about $1,800. So we always lead generate for listings, right? That's the goal. So let's just say that the average commission is about $5,000. We'll just say $5,000 is the average commission, okay? So let's keep that in mind. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure we know our average commission is $5,000. So every deal we do, $5K. You guys can learn how to do your taxes and stuff like that and manage your money your own way. Cool. All right, sweet. So one thing too is I would love active participation. Who wouldn't? You guys, this is kind of like a mastermind. Let's kind of help each other out. That's what KW is all about. We want to make sure that we can give each other some new information. Everybody should be walking away with something today, whether it's for me or somebody sitting next to you. Mutual respect. We're all agents here. We're all working hard. We're all doing the same thing, maybe at different levels, but at the same time, we're all trying to achieve the Z, right? So what I want to do too is, technology, laptops, use them out. If you take a call, just please quietly leave, then politely come back. Please be mindful of texts and emails, typing away, things of that nature. Other than that, I'm pretty cool about stuff. So let's rock and roll. All right, so we can go to the next slide. See if we can see it.
Yep. I'm gonna move
Okay,
this.
so I want to change, I'm not gonna change these, but I would almost change these a little bit. Where it says real estate expert, I would put economist of choice. Lead generation, I call it helping create generational wealth for my clients. For lead follow-up, properly managing a CRM, strategically managing a CRM, and then transaction, best positive communication, or communicative action-based service. So keep that in mind, best positive communicative action-based service. So you're not a real estate expert, you're an economist of choice these days. And the reason why I say that is you guys have to understand that the market shifts, so you have to shift, right? People don't want you to just be the real estate expert, they want you to be the economist of choice. Then I want to help you create generational wealth. By lead generating, I want to change my mindset. But the reason I'm calling people is I'm helping change their generational wealth. That's like, could you imagine doing that? That's what you're trying, or your intentions are to help. All right, cool.
We're on 5.2, by the way.
5.2, we just moved to 5.5, I think, or is that different? All right, so today we begin our lead generation segment. We must find people to work with. These people are known as leads, and they fuel your business growth in the present and in the future. Leads are responsible for growth potential and protect you against market shifts. Lead generation plus lead follow-up. Our next big segments are the fundamentals of real estate. So, cover the five lead generation sections. You, the lead generator, all your business starts with what you do. You're the action taker. The lead generation model, how do we kind of take the leads and focus those and funnel those into transactions? Your sphere of influence, or you're going to hear the term SOI. I'll stay away from acronyms. So sphere of influence is important. These are the people that care about you. These are the people that want to see you succeed. These are the people you need to be contacting, gathering as much of their information, putting them in a drip campaigns, constantly communicating them throughout them through the whole year and getting referrals as a lead. You want to expand your sphere of influence. So you go from met type people, your sphere, or all the people you met, you put them in a circle, and then you have this big circle of all your unmets. So we need to get this met circle as big as your unmet circle. That's the goal for there. Okay. Lead generation best practices, that could probably be a group effort there because we're all doing something different. What are you succeeding at? What are you succeeding at? You know, don't focus on all of it, focus on some of it, right? And then recaps and ahas, and then the success system. So really quick. So I want to just hear from some of you really quick. Let's first hear about yesterday's success system progress. Did we do something yesterday? So yeah, Thursday was it? Okay. So you probably had something to do to go out. Does anybody have any success stories they want to talk about really quick from Thursday to today? Any lead generation stuff? Anybody's birthday from like January to March that wants to say something?
No,
Anybody in here?
I'm April. Yeah. Over the weekend, I did an open house
Nice.
and I ended up picking up 2 buyers from the open house, and we ended up getting 4 offers from the open house. So that was a really nice weekend for me.
So you lead generated for the listing
Yep,
and you lead generated for buyers. All
Yeah.
from one listing,
yep,
sold the listing, got the bigger half or the bigger, let's say third of the deal. and
Yep.
Now you picked up 2 more deals.
correct.
potential deals. Lead generation. Does anybody else have any success stories? Should we check with the other groups?
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
TL, do you have anybody in the room that wants to share?
We do over here.
We have one here in Elevate.
I don't know how to get this.
Volume for this thing.
You guys hear us at Elevate?
Elevate?
Yes, can you hear us?
Very, very little.
I'm gonna move up.
Okay.
Hi there, can you hear me now?
We'll turn it up. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Forrest Dorsey. I operate out of the Keller Williams Elevate office in Strongsville, Medina. Over the weekend, I had been in like the cultivation part of, working with these two particular clients of mine who are now clients. But at the time, they were for sale by owners, and they were trying to shoot their shot on the open market, or obviously the for sale by owner market, utilizing those third party listing sites, and was able to really get them to understand the value of having a professional do what they can during a listing period to drive up not only the price to a fair market value for their homes, but also be able to handle a lot of the, ancillary or just kind of, different nuances of a listing, so that they didn't really have to handle that on their own. I think a lot of times people will feel as if they can, anybody can do it, or they have a sense of pride attached to it, or they want to save on commissions. There could be a number of different factors that have them leaning towards listing by owner. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's certainly money to be left on the table. So I did the best that I could over the past 5 years in kind of, managing seller expectations and having the right types of things to deliver to them. And they ended up both listing with me, and we'll have active listings tomorrow and Thursday of this week. So, yeah, thanks. Big time step in just me building confidence and knowing that, there's definitely another, a completely different level of service that one would get by going with an agent. And even if at the end of the day, they net around what they would be netting by owner, they are, building trust. They're establishing a professional relationship with you that is going to last outside of this transaction. And they'll definitely be thanking you in some ways, and just the fact that they were able to take a big step back. They don't necessarily have to worry, just alleviation of stress. And I think that that's a great
Awesome.
thing to be able to pitch to people. So
Congrats.
Good job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good. All right, so the agenda for today, so that by the end of this session, you will be able to generate business from the people you know and know you, identify your sphere of influence and calculate the potential income opportunity, categorize your sphere of influence and expand your reach, apply best practices of lead generation. All right, so I want you to start thinking about what you will learn today. Let's consider what questions we might have and what we'd like to learn more about. So if I can take maybe 3 to 5 minutes, find you like somebody next to you or a whole table, partner up with the person close to you. Just jot down your notes in your participation guide so it stays on top of mind. So if you want to do a table or a group, I just want you guys to get a few questions together to, maybe we can at the end have your questions answered. So I'll give
About
you-
what they're expecting today.
Yeah, or if you have any questions, things of that nature. So
Okay,
it's 9:13. We'll come back at like 9:18.
okay,
Just real quick.
9:18, we'll be right back.
Just chat around.
2 minutes. Okay, wrap it up. 1 minute. Okay, you're on.
All right.
Hello,
All right, so
everybody.
guys, let's talk about what you already know.
1, 2, 3. Shh.
So
Thank
let's,
you.
all right, so let's talk about what you already know about lead generation. So you are the action taker, right? Your business only works if you do, right? Simple.
True.
So lead generation is all about action. I'm gonna change that to a little bit, emotion creates motion, or emotion creates action. So you have to keep that in mind, and we'll learn a little bit more of that as we go. So lead generation is all about action. Lead generation is an action. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Actions speak louder than words, right? I would go a little bit further and say actions speak louder than words and can be even more powerful when fused together. So we gotta put it all together. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna jump to the quotes. So page 13. All right. My fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating. Man, is that destructive. Okay, so let's begin today's discussion with mindset. So this quote clarifies that lead generation is the job number one, even if there's fear around doing it. What's the one thing that such by doing it, everything else becomes simple or unnecessary? Lead generation. Okay, so it's the activity, oh, that's a funny word, activity, along with lead follow-up, which is covered later, keeps us all from failing and instead allows us to prosper. You never stop lead generating for the rest of your career and business in real estate. Is your fear of failure greater than your fear of lead generating? Is your fear of failure greater than your fear of lead generating?
Yes, it is. I have to, I mean, when you separate it out, right, when
Yep.
you think about it, it's not that you don't like lead generating. It's not that you don't like talking to people. It's that you're afraid of fear, right?
And a lot of people say, you'll learn this, is like, I'm not very good at that. You just haven't mastered it yet. You just have to really understand that script, playing, doing it every day, coming from experience is going to change your confidence. Just like the gentleman from Elevate. He wasn't expecting to get 2 for sale by owners, was he? But he did it. He followed his scripts, generated the leads, took the action, got the result. Very good. So we're going to go over the 6 core competencies of business. These are from the book Shift. If you don't have the book Shift, read it, but be careful when you're reading it because it'll kind of make your stomach churn a little bit. but it'll get you emotional, which will get you into acting, which is great. So you first learned about these 6 core competencies in session 2. Lead generation is job number 1. So leads fuel your business, helping you reach the goals you have set for yourself. The more leads you have, the more business and success you can have. So what are we doing with lead generation? So lead generation includes 3 things. It's talking to people about buying and selling real estate daily. We can definitely call that a connect or a contact. Capturing accurate contact information. So this includes name, phone number, email, home address, and any other information the person is willing to give to you. Why? You want as much information when you have, like, you can get on the phone. If you were talking about their son's football game and you have a chance to follow up, hey, how'd the game go? How'd the game go? Because you talked about it here, let's bring it back up in the next conversation. Because the guy's like listening to me, knows what my life is all about. Or hey, how was the vacation that you went on with your family to get away? Did you guys get, fulfilled through all that? So when you do that, it's not just all their contact information, it's the life stuff too. Let's make sure that we write small notes. Because how many people are you going to be talking to? You're supposed to be talking to 20 people at least a day for 5 days a week. You need to know and remember what you talked about. That's the easiest way to just go back and say, hey, we remember that conversation we had? Wow, you're on it, man. That's awesome.
If you're using command, this is where you put those notes in,
Yes,
absolutely, or
exactly.
whatever CRM that you're
Yeah,
using.
client
That way you can
relationship
remember.
management. Yeah, so we want to convert leads to appointments. So we've done all this work. We've contacted these people. We've gotten out of our comfort zone. We realize we're going to help them create generational wealth. Let's meet, discuss it even more. This is when you can find active buyers and sellers, set an appointment to meet, preferably at the office, and agree to work together in the buying or selling of real estate. So the next 5 days, you will learn a variety of methods to gain leads. Let's go to 15 it is on here, and then 5.9.
5.9, everybody, page
Cool.
5.9
Yeah.
we're on.
So it is understandable if there is a lot of fear around lead generating. Even though we all know to be the most important aspect of our business. Like, isn't that just a crazy thing to think of? The most fearful thing is the thing you have to do. So let's be honest with ourselves. Who's having any of these thoughts as we dig into lead generation? I mean, good. There's no pressure to raise your hand, but
Oh,
okay,
thank
so
you.
yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So I got 5. That's whatever. Okay. So 5.3. All right. So guess what? These are the exact fears that Gary Keller had when he started out in business. So you can read about it on Shift on page 52. I'm just going to read it really quick because I have it open. So here we go. I'll be the volunteer. Is that okay? I know you guys are going to get sick of my voice by the end of the day, but. So from a distance, I thought lead generation was really difficult, but after I diligently applied myself to it for a reasonable length of time, I came to see that it was actually quite easy and could even be fun. I was confusing effort with enjoyment. I also thought I was going to be too busy and wouldn't have time to lead generate. However, as I focused on doing it every day, I discovered it wasn't an issue of having time, but an issue of making time and then protecting it. Making time and protecting it. As I learned to manage my time better, I discovered I had all the time I needed. Then intimidation set in. I believed I couldn't lead generate because I didn't know what to do or say and was afraid of making mistakes. However, as I consistently got after it, I found that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. I caught on that with practice and homework, these actions are easily understood and learned. I saw that on top of being a transaction knowledge and service business, our industry is a script and dialogue skilled based business. I had to commit to getting onto the path of mastering these. So you had to get on the path of mastering transaction knowledge and service business and script and dialogue skilled based business. I discovered that time on task over time was the simple secret that helped me become very good. So I just want you guys to write this down. You have 5 things to do as a realtor. You have 5 things. You lead generate, you lead follow-up, you go on appointments, you write and negotiate offers, and you script and role play. That's the only 5 things you have to do as a realtor. Let's see here. So lead generate, our favorite thing today. Lead follow-up. Let's not call that checking in. It's called lead follow-up. Don't check in with people, follow up with people. Go on appointments. So go on APPTS, go on apps. Write and negotiate offers. And then the big one he's talking about is script and role play. Because you don't want to be practicing on your clients. Let's practice with each other.
We recommend that when you're lead generating, you spend 15 minutes before you start practicing your script for your lead gen. 15 minutes is all it's gonna take.
So all you have to do is just realize the fears can be myths. You're training your brain to be fearful. Let's train it to be powerful and successful. All right, so next is where they just kind of put the orange lettering underneath it. There we go. So this is what we discovered to erase his limited thinking. So here's one of the most wealthiest people in our country, maybe the world, in real estate. And these are what he came up with. So I think lead generation is really difficult. I was confusing effort with enjoyment. Lead generation is actually easy. It's just not fun. And you can make it fun. You really can. You'll be surprised when you start reaching out to your sphere of influence, the people that care about you the most and the people that want to see you succeed. You can make that really fun.
In fact, your market centers have call nights, right? That's us trying to help you make it fun. It's really fun when you've actually connected and had 5 conversations at the end of that time, right?
Yeah. I don't have time to lead generate. I had an issue of making time to lead generate and protecting that time. So going back, your most important things are your family time, vacation, going on trips, the stuff that matters, the life stuff, that's scheduled first. Lead generation is the very next thing. Whether it's from 8:30 to 11:30 every day, or if it's 8:30 till you get the appointments that you set the goal. So I mean, it could be all day. You might have to go to the mall and start going to stores and start talking to people. You might have to door knock and go through neighborhoods. You might have to call 50 people to get 10 contacts. Where are you going to get your other 10? So I don't have time to lead generate. Yes, you do, because it's the first thing you should schedule. I had an issue of making the lead generation and protecting that time. You know, if you don't have time to succeed, I mean, you got to really kind of create your head around lead generation equals action-based success. So I don't know what to say. I had to get on the path of mastering dialogue skills needed in this business. For lead generation at an open house, the best script is LP Mama. You can convert anybody at any open house. It's very simple. You're walking around the house, you're just talking to them. LP Mama.
LP Mama.
LP Mama. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, location. Price. Motivation. What is it? Appointments and agents. Yeah, probably the last agents, and then mortgage is the other end.
So why do you say you have to use LP Mama? When do you use this?
So if it's great at an open house, you say, hey, thank you for coming to my open house today here in Lakewood, Ohio. Are you only looking in Lakewood, Ohio? They're gonna say, no, I'm looking in Rocky River, I'm looking in Fairview Park, and I'm doing all of those areas. Oh, great, that's awesome. I work in those areas. Have car will travel, right? Or have car will sell. This house is listed at Lakewood $299. Is that the price range that you're looking in? You don't know, we were looking at a little bit higher, but we saw this house, we thought it'd be great in our monthly budget, that would work. Okay, cool. So then you could go to motivation, you go, so how many houses have you seen the inside of, or, why are you moving? Something as simple as that. Have you had the opportunity to talk to a lending professional? Have you procured a loan, or do you plan on paying cash? Which nowadays, who isn't? And then the most important one is, are you working with an agent? Don't forget that one.
Are you working with an agent, right?
Right.
Otherwise you might be spinning your wheels.
Yeah. So
And
you-
schedule the appointment.
Yep, so the action there is an open house or you're calling back buyer leads, that's your action, you're using that script and you're moving forward. You can literally use this word for word. And the mortgages, are you renting or do you own a home? So if they own a home, we're gonna have an even better conversation. I definitely need to meet with you because I wanna list your house and I wanna help you buy a house. Let's let's take care of that. So the more information you get through LP Mama is great. And the best thing is, hey, I don't mind doing this. This is what I suggest we do. Suggest we sit down for about 45 minutes to an hour, go over the whole home buying process or the whole listing process. We can meet at your house, kind of figure out what the value of your property is and talk about setting up a game plan to get you where you want to go, which is to get them to their motivation. You understand that, you keep that information. And again, like follow-up, we write that down and we use it for another conversation. It's always important to go back to motivation. Why are we doing this in the first place? The big why. Okay, cool. So I'm afraid of making mistakes. I found that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. So what he means by that is I'm doing the action of lead generating, I'm calling, open housing, door knocking, whatever. But now I'm skillfully taking these successful tasks that I'm doing and taking the skills we've done and I'm putting it all on paper. I'm putting in my client relationship management so I can follow up and then get to an appointment, then get through the transactional actions and close and income opportunity.
Create systems, right,
Yeah.
around your lead generation. Then you know what's going to happen next. You just get into a routine. When you get into the routine, you don't think about it as much. You're less likely to procrastinate on it, right? So create your system around lead generation so that you can just roll right through it to
And
your
then
results.
finally, he discovered that time on task over time. So how much time you're putting on that task over time was simple. There's a simple secret to his success. So all work fills the time allotted. How much time, Elon Musk says, if you want to achieve something in 10 years, you're gonna have a 10-year plan. He says, I'll wind it up and say, try to achieve as much as you can in 6 months. So set a big goal and just go after it and keep your time on the task. All right. So 17, yep, okay. I put 11 for us, but. So lead generation is the number1 key to being successful in real estate. I mean, how many times have I said that already? Geez, it doesn't matter how great you are at selling houses. If
Yep.
no one knows you're in the business of selling houses, and if they don't feel connected to you in the way that has them to reach out to you when you're ready to sell, why are you in real estate? What is it? You always want to be the agent of choice, the economist of choice. You want to be top of mind. When people think of real estate, they think of you, they think of me, right? They want to think of you. So what are you doing to make them think of you? You should be lead generating, lead follow-up, doing all those things. So when it's time, you'd be surprised all of a sudden, what is it? Gradually, then suddenly on that chart, gradually, then all of a sudden, suddenly, David, I need you to do this. I need to buy this house. We just saw it. I want to go see it. My gosh, we're ready to an offer. Next thing you know, oh my God, now I got to sell my house. You're like, I just did 2 transactions in 4 weeks because of just how pace and we're ready to rock and roll. All the skills that I've accrued over the year just happened. Your business can get like that. Stay in the business, keep working hard, always lead generate, stay top of
Do
mind.
the tasks.
Yep.
Every day.
You're building momentum is what your intentions are. So I've got great news though. You already have 2 components to lead generate. This is awesome. You already have it. A sphere of influence or SOI and a database, AKA a data bank. So who here has heard of sphere of influence and what is it? Sphere of
Beth?
influence?
The people that you are, that you see at baseball games or work, or is it the people that are around you on a daily basis?
Daily, yep, 100%. It could be I wrote all of these down. This is crazy, but it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your brother, it could be your auntie, it could
Your
be
neighbor.
your neighbor, it could be your Uncle Skinny, it could be your priest, your barber, your landscaper, your photographer, your stager, your kid's teacher, your kid's classmates, parents, best friends. And then keeping in mind is when you start meeting people, the unmets, they become mets, and now they're in your sphere. Your sphere of influence is huge. let's be real though, every sales job that if you're going to go for, they're gonna ask for you to have your top 50 or your top 100 people in your database to start. They're gonna want all that data. Do not forget that data is like the new gold, it's gonna be like the new oil, right? Data is so important to have, because once they're in a Keller Williams data, they grab with us, we protect it for them, one, and two, we have a system now that we can always follow up with those people. Sphere of influence needs to grow. So this is a group of people you know and who know you. This is the group of people who know, like, and trust you, and therefore the people most likely to do business with you. People like to do business with people they like.
And trust.
Yep. And so how do you, no, you can't find that. So how do you access this group? And so how do you access this group, right? With your phone. Your phone is the most likely way to expand your database. Your phone is $100 to $200 a month, but it could be 250,000 a year. All right. So next is sphere of income opportunity. Yeah, this might change your life or make your stomach turn. I haven't decided yet. So
We're on
let's see.
page 5.4.
Yeah. All right, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go into your phone, go to your contacts, scroll all the way to the bottom, and it'll tell you how many contacts you have in your phone. I want you to write that number down.
Scroll to the bottom of your contacts.
Go to contacts and
Yep.
scroll all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
Go past Z, and then at the bottom, it'll say contacts. Yeah.
1,200.
Yeah, 1,200. 1,200.
1,200, yeah.
Scroll all the way down to contacts. Oh, that's interesting. So go to your contacts, like your.
You got your number?
Got your number?
All right, write it on your page 5.4.
Okay,
Number of contacts in your phone.
So everyone, get your phone, get your contacts. Now, once you scroll on the bottom right, so write down that number on line A in your participation guide. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the typical person moves every 8 years. And according to the 2020 census, the home ownership rate in the US is 64.8. I looked it up in 2022, it's 65.8. So let's just stick with 64.8. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Would you? So if we can assume that the 64.8 of your database is a homeowner, and they will move every 8 years, this means that about 8.1% or 0.081 of your database will buy and sell a home every 8 years. So let's use these numbers to figure out how many people you already know who are going to buy or sell this year. To do this, you want to multiply your number of contacts in your database by 0.081 and put that answer on B. So I'll do. I'm gonna erase this for now.
Sure.
I can always
Yep.
skew it. I'll take it. All right, so let's just follow. So who's got a number for me? Just do it.
I heard somebody say 1,200.
All right, let's see 1,200.
Somebody
You're
said
gonna
1,200.
puke when you see this number. It's awesome, though.
Don't puke.
Don't puke. Yeah,
It's like part of, like all my contacts are lenders and other agents.
that's okay.
That's
a
okay.
business
Follow
to
it.
do.
Follow him. Yep.
Okay, so potential closings, 1,200 times 0.081. So you should have 97.2 closings. Wow, that is fucking light. And then your potential referrals are 120. Guys, I have 1,637 contacts in my phone, so I know it's stupid, but it's great. Okay, so then all you're doing is just adding this up, simple math. I'm a realtor, so I gotta.
D is total,
Calculator.
total potential is B plus C.
Let's see, so 217 deals We're gonna say that the average commission is 5,000. Here's the big one.
When you say average commission, is that net or gross?
It's your average commission on a sale.
Net.
Use your net if you're trying to figure out what your income opportunity is.
Oh,
Income opportunity,
how do you do that?
you're taking 217 or your total potential of D times 5,000
Okay,
million.
all right.
Millionaire real estate agent right
Millionaire
there.
Real estate agent. I had 1,637 contacts. That means I should do 296 deals a year. So 1.4 million. Which is totally doable, because I do not reach out to my sphere of influence enough, or I do not hit enough of my contacts, all guilty of. All right,
So you can see why lead generation's important
so lead generation.
with your own sphere, the people in your own phone right now.
So, all right, cool. So, would anyone like to share their number? Jeez,
Janice,
your final income opportunity.
nice,
awesome.
690,000. Good job.
That's net. That's great.
How do you feel about that? Makes her want to vomit. So it's inspiring, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like reading the shift book. I get it. It's a little wrenching. But if you stick to your daily activities, think about this. You have 1,200 people in your contacts. You're reaching out to 100 people a month. And that means you're only probably talking to 25 people a week. That means you really only have to talk to 5 people a day. Ugh. Come on,
Yeah.
5 people a day for $1 million. We're realtors. We love to talk and know it. If you don't, get in the transaction. I'm joking. Okay. Figure out your scripts, master your scripts, and you'll be fine too.
Yes.
Guys, that is real. That is serious. All right. So this is just from the people that are in your phone. Now, if you want to go through it and manage it, you know, the number changes a little bit. Let's get real with ourselves, get real, get right. So change that out. But if you have a lender, that's a business to business call. If you have a title agency company, that's business to business. How many of those people have 1,200 contacts in their phone that know more people? Like it's just a snowball effect. It's just gonna roll and get better. But the important thing though is with the snowball, it started small and then it got into momentum and it got huge. You just gotta roll with it, go with, stay with it, okay?
How many of you have told your stylist, your hairstylist, that you would love to have a referral from them? Good job, good job,
They talk
good
to
job.
30 to 40
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely. That's funny, Michael.
You look great. You look great. So we already covered, next slide's here. This one. We can go to ahas.
Yeah, Go to Ahas?
Yeah, any
Okay.
ahas from that?
Okay, yeah, what are you thinking right now? We kind of showed you some potential. Right?
Beyond the potential, it's kind of showcasing just, how modest your, what you would be making annually, or at least projected for that year. It like blows that number well out of the water. So obviously you gotta factor in, there's a percentage of your database, your sphere that, you never can say never, but, they may have already moved, they may already be settled, but at the end of the day, that number is like 3 times the number that I had projected for what I was hoping to make this year. And that was, not a modest number, but I thought it was a great figure, but.
Right on. And how many people are in their phone that they know?
Yeah.
Right, exactly right.
I'll add another, I think of the job description we have as agents, the 5 items, and if we're not doing lead generation, the rest of them don't really matter. Except for scripting and role practice, of course, but you can't do the rest if you're not doing lead generation.
100%.
100%. Yep. Anybody else? Ahas? So you've got some tools now. You know what to ask about. Remember that LP Mama that we talked
Yes,
about,
that's
right?
Huge.
When you're on the phone with a potential buyer or seller. Find out their motivation, right? You've got some tools to figure out how to set your goal and how many calls you need to make
Yep.
in your lead generation day in order to hit those goals.
And once you break it down to the smallest aspect, they say the details are the biggest part of your, it's gonna be the biggest part. Go small to go big, is Gary's one of his sayings. Go small. So this number really is only 5 a day.
5 calls a day.
Gold is gonna ask you to do 20. And again, that's you want as much work as you can do in a small period of time.
And David, is that really 5 calls a day or is that 5 conversations a day?
Conversations.
5 conversations, right?
So it could be 20 calls, it could be
Yeah.
25.
Yep.
But you get the point.
Right.
So this is a great number, but don't be fearful of it, because if you do just something as simple as that, you're good. It'll
Makes-
get to it. And what if you do more than great, And here's the thing is, throughout this process, you're gonna potentially learn about leverage. But don't worry, you can get to this, we'll find more people for you. AKA Karen Hellman and your other TLs will help you. All right, so it's your share of influence, your database.
Organization model and MREA, we can help you with that
Yeah.
too.
Let's go to, I'm on, 20. Can you go to 20? This
Back.
one? Yeah, one more. Okay. So we already covered how many people you have in your phone, how many people contact this database, data bank, think of it as a data bank. So how we've already, okay, good. All right, so I just want to make sure we do that. Okay, we went through that. All right, so today's agenda, perfect. Sorry. All right, so now that you've already begun lead generating, you have a database in a sphere of influence. Let's dig into the most important model in your business, the lead generation model. So, we heard that if you're not doing lead generation, nothing else matters. How true is that? So lead generation, you will hear this over and over again throughout your career. It really is the most important activity. It's the first thing you need to know to start your real estate business. And it's the last thing you'll give up doing yourself if you decide to start a team and leverage your business to the point that you are no longer involved in the day-to-day running of it. You'll still be lead generating, I promise you. So think about that. What are we learning today is the foundation for a million, multi-million, and even billion-dollar business. This is also why your time each day completing the daily success system along with your peers and facilitators is so important. Very, very important.
Remember your daily success system? I think that was on day 1.
Yep. So let's get to 23. All right, great.
There we go.
All right, so this is what we're trying to accomplish is this picture is Z. We're gonna go A, B, C. This is what it all looks like, right? All encompassed. And then we're gonna start from the beginning. So just kind of, that's what that is. So as you've learned, Keller Williams has a model for everything. Gosh, is that right? It makes sense that there would be a model for your number one job, lead generation. Number one job, lead generation. Though it may look complicated, it's about one thing, relationships. You are in a relationship business. The more relationships you have, the more business you have. This model tells us how to get into relationships with people, stay in relationships with them, and be their real estate expert, economist of choice to buy and sell real estate. All right. So
This is my favorite model. The lead
Yeah.
gen model is
it all starts with everything.
logical,
This is-
completely logical.
So if you're brand new, this is where we're starting. This is how you start. All right. So I just need to go to 24. All right. So prospecting and marketing are lead generation activities that delivers leads in your business. So lead generation is simply getting people into your database, your data bank, so you can track your relationship with them. So as you can see at the top of the model, there are two different activities that can bring leads in your business: prospecting and marketing. You can never have too many leads. You can never have too many leads. A lot of leads or a quantity of leads gives you good quality leads. So too many leads isn't in your language, just isn't. If you have too many leads, you just need leverage. All right. So Yep, prospecting versus marketing, awesome. So what I'd like you to do is turn to the prospecting versus marketing page in your participation guide. Is the best practice to generate leads through a prospecting-based marketing enhanced approach.
5.6.
Prospecting is proactive and direct. You're actively searching for leads. We're hunting essentially, or well, fishing too, if you want to. So prospecting, you have a phone and you're just calling people. That's low cost to no cost method, right? You already have their information. Your job now is to build off of that. Your biggest goal is really to take them from your phone, once you've called them, and put them into your client relationship management, getting as much information from them as possible. Then you're setting them up on an opportunity or a drip campaign, because you want to reach out to them each and every year, about 33 times, 36 times.
36 times.
So
yeah.
36 times that you're reaching out to people, you could do 1 week, or it's gonna be a text. Then you're gonna have, it's gonna generate the drip campaigns for you. So it's gonna do the work for you. That's the great thing about the artificial intelligence of things. And you can build that script in command for you. So next week you say, hey, I know we haven't talked since last week. Any new information to give us about potentially buying or selling real estate? You can write whatever you want in there. It already has stuff built for you too, so just use it.
That's a wonderful system, because if once you create it, then all you have to do is attach it to the person that you've added to your command system or your CRM, right? So spend some time. We'll plug in here Lynn Scott again. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to Lynn Scott, your tech trainer.
Yep.
She's communicating with you through email, and she's in these meetings, and she is on Facebook. So schedule some time with her one-on-one, and she can help you learn how to do that.
Okay, great. So low cost to no cost method yields a quantity of leads, which in turn gives you quality leads. How would it feel to have so many leads that you can go and pick and choose the people that you really want to work with, that you know are going to be A buyers and A sellers? And then what you do is you drip your B's, C's, and D agents or clients as well. So you can have a different campaign for each level of somebody, until all of a sudden now we move them from D to C, C to B, all of a sudden now they're A. That's a totally different campaign. We're going to communicate with those people differently. You know, if we're doing an A, I know my sellers like to talk every day. So we're going to talk every day. If it's a B, I might talk once a week. If it's a C, I might talk twice a week or once a month. If it's a D, you know, every couple weeks, maybe a couple months, who knows? All right. So you're wanting to establish personal relationships. Let your future clients get to know you. So that's what you're doing, is you're creating this relationship by constantly following up. You're on social media. You're not just talking about business, you're showing who you are. You're doing a mix of both. Okay. What this is going to do is it's going to keep you in direct contact with the market of the moment. So who wouldn't want to hear about what their home pricing of their house is? Hey, I just want to let you know I'm doing a lot of home evaluations today. Would you be interested in seeing one for what I have for you? Oh my God, yeah, I'd love to know what my house is worth today. Great. Going over pricing. What's the activity of pricing? The average price now for houses is $243. In this binder originally was $225. Wouldn't you want to know that you've got this increased appreciation in your property?
Can I add something in there?
Trust. Yeah, go for it.
If there's somebody that you're calling that you know, instead of asking them if they want to know what would it sound like if you called them up and said, hey, I was just running some numbers and I just learned that did you know your home value is X? What if you just gave that information to them? Now, does it sound like a sales call? Not at all. So you're providing value, right? So think about who it is you're talking to, and what you can provide, what value you can provide. And that's one big one.
Very good. So keep in mind, you could talk about home evaluation pricing, trends, interest rates, Fed rates, financial conversations, process conversations. Okay, so really you want to know your numbers and what you're going to say, right? So if you're doing these things, you're not only becoming a real estate expert, you're becoming their go-to realtor. And then you're also becoming an economist of choice, because you're telling them how the whole market is shifted and what's going on. Like simple things like 2008, 49% of the houses that sold in the United States were foreclosures. Now it's under or below like 4%. Like how huge is that? There were 43,000 houses for sale then. Now there's like 6,000.
Yeah.
So you're just constantly in and on it. They're gonna go to whoever you are because you're giving them information and you're constantly doing it. You can't lose that.
Read that email. You're getting every month an email from the Ohio Board of Realtors, the Ohio Area Board of Realtors. That provides all the data and the intel that you'll need to be the economist of choice and the expert in the industry. Read those articles.
One thing that I read every day is called the Morning Brew. It's online. You can sign up for it. It just has a lot of information on it. I think it's great.
The Morning Brew.
Morning Brew.
I'll have to check that out.
Yep. So you're also going to be increasing your confidence and skills. So know your numbers and know what you're going to say. With marketing, you are putting your information out there to attract leads through sources like social media, print ads, radio ads, promotional materials, etc. We'll talk more about this in some of the other sessions too. So 25. Yep. So the market, your preferences, your budget and your goals will usually dictate the types of lead generation you employ. Top agents track their most productive lead sources, which usually are sphere of influence, repeat business, referrals, offline advertising, direct mail, yard signs, etc., door knocking, flyering. If you're new to the business, your sphere of influence will be huge. You need to, really tap into that. One of the things when I was new to the business is I did a lot of outbound calls, did a ton of calls and open houses. Those are my two things, open houses and calling. I loved my sphere of influence, but I will tell you, going out and getting new business was a little bit better for me. I love to do that. I don't know why. It's just something, it's weird. I'd rather have more interaction with somebody new than my friends. Which sounds bad, but I love getting new clients because I love bringing new people on my side. It gives me more energy. As you can tell, I'm extroverted, so that's great for me.
Did you go through that list again that you just read off?
Which one?
The one with.
Oh, so, yep, so top agents track their most productive lead sources, which are sphere of influence, SOI, repeat business, so past clients, referrals, which are from past clients, sphere of influence, shoot, even somebody you met that likes you more than their other realtor wants to give you referrals, your lender will give you referrals, things of that nature. And then offline advertising like direct mail, farming, yard signs, door knocking, flyering.
So these are top agents use like these lead sources.
Yeah. So no, you're welcome. So no single approach or method will bring you all the leads you need to reach your goals. A blended approach works best. So no matter your approach, you should always be offering some form of value in exchange for information. And that information is what you need to continue that relationship. So also, though you won't rely on a single source for lead generation, you also aren't going to do all of them. The most productive agents focus on 3 to 5 top producing lead sources. So when I was starting, it was calls and open houses. I know a guy in Texas that just does open houses. Like he does like 2 to 3 open houses a week. Then he ups it to 4 to 6 a week. He just does an open house like every day. You could do twilight open houses from 5 to 7 if you're really trying to get buyers. Because honestly, a lot of people need to sell to buy these days. If they're out buying, they probably own something. If they don't, that's great too. Just got to get them pre-qualified, talk to the right lender, get that information before you start hustling for them and start getting out and showing houses to make sure that they're pre-qualified. Well, pre-approved and into underwriting. That's
There you go.
Okay.
Pre-approved.
So which works best for you? Write that down. Like, what do you want to do? Where do you feel most confident and skillful? Like, don't worry about your worst asset. Let's worry about your strength. Go do it. In the beginning, let's just go do that. Okay. So in Ignite, we're about focusing mainly on prospecting. We know successful lead generation is prospecting based. Prospecting is also less expensive. And prospecting is what protects your business when the market slows down. So even more specifically, we'll focus on prospecting with your sphere of influence. So what's the one thing that's touched by doing it? Everything else becomes simple or necessary, prospecting and lead generating.
The one thing.
The one
right?
thing. All right,
We
cool.
could,
So,
we could take
Yeah, it's up to
a
you.
breakout and talk about lead sources, because there's lots of different lead sources out there.
yeah,
Do we have time for that, David?
if you want to, we could do it. I think it's important for you to kind of figure out what works for you. And what is working for everybody else. That's always a good mastermind.
Was anybody in the room ever attended a Jeff Glover event? Great, yeah, so Jeff Glover, in a recent, seminar or conference that he did, said the same thing, 3 to 5. Only pick 3 to 5 things that you're gonna focus on and stick with it, probably 3 first, and get really good at it before you add something else. And getting really good about it means do what you know and ask other people what they do to make sure that you've tried everything you can to make that lead source opportunity as successful as it can be. Then move on to something else. Once you've done everything you can to make it as successful as it can be, then add another one. Does that make sense? Okay, let's take 5 minutes and let's break into 4 groups. We'll just hear. And then I'll bring you back here at 7 minutes after. All right, lead sources. 2 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. So I'll name 3. I'd like to have the other 2 market centers also name 3 that you came up with in your room, maybe the TLs or your speakers or whoever is monitoring or managing your market center. We came up with, somebody said sponsoring a baseball team is a great lead source. We also said a fitness center, and what was the third one? Social media. Excellent. What'd you get? Elevate?
Anyone have, Kirk, as far as good lead source?
Bible study. Group.
Bible study. Very good.
Sporting event?
Book club, sporting event.
Like doing other people's open houses for their listing.
Okay, awesome.
Open houses. Excellent. How about you, Legacy? What'd you get?
All right, go ahead.
I'm on the Nextdoor app. I'm not sure if other people have it in their community or familiar with it, but I've been obtaining about 30 people like around other communities a day. I've been adding. And then
Can you guys hear her?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so the Nextdoor app.
Nextdoor app.
And I've been adding about 30 people a day to my connections. So with that, I'm gonna be reaching out to each one individually now and then seeing if I can't get, some more information from them, but they're from far and wide. They're from Cleveland, all different neighborhoods, but I find that to be a very, very big thing right now to do, and it's getting very popular, so.
One more from this group, lead source.
Circle prospecting with Mojo Dialer.
Circle prospecting with Mojo Dialer.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. All right.
Mojo Dialers.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Realty for us or no?
Op City is a lead source that we have in our market center. Go ahead.
All right, so next slide.
Now,
All right. So as you gather people's information through prospecting, marketing, or have generated the lead, the next step is to put that information into your database. A database is simply a container that holds the information for all the leads you have generated. If you're looking for a cost-efficient tool to build out your smart database, Keller Williams has you covered with Command. Command is more than a database. With this platform, you have access to interconnected tools to support you from lead to close, all while maintaining your relationships. So a smart database provides you with the ability to have planned and meaningful communication with those in it, which keeps you in a relationship. You can think of your smart database as a data bank because it generates money for you. There's nothing more valuable to your business than your data bank. I just have one quick thing. So my buddy, he does a lot of construction work, but so he gave me a cup. He just gave me a cup. And he goes, every piece of business that you have, whether your cup is, like a rock is big or your rock is small, it's still filling your cup. So an $80,000 deal still fills the cup. $400,000 deal definitely fills the cup. $1 million deals fill the cup. If you're doing more than 100,000 deals, it's still filling your cup. We just have to work on Command, putting them in there, following up with them, processing them pretty much from buy-sell conversations, gathering information, putting them into our system, putting them on a drip campaign, talking to them until they're ready to go. I mean, it could be the smallest thing, just to stay top of mind. Then all of a sudden you get a text, just like I did, or I'm ready to list. You got it, buddy. I'll give you a call later. We'll get on it. Let's rock and roll.
Set yourself a goal for that
Yeah.
every week. How many are you gonna add to your database?
So your goals will be contacts. Next thing you know, it's going to be follow-up. How many follow-ups can I do? Next thing you know, it's how many appointments can I set? Next thing is how many offers can I write this week? Then it's like, how many offers can I get accepted? Then it's gonna be like, how many deals can I do? So it's all gonna lead into something. Just focus on that, getting the leads, getting their information, getting the drip campaigns, following up with them, then setting appointments. Okay, guys?
Perfect.
Cool. All right, so 28. All right, so we use the terminology of leads and contacts to categorize people in our database. So far, in your success system time, you've been communicating with your sphere of influence, people you know and who know you. These people are contacts with whom you might have implicit permission to have two-way conversations. So leads are people who have shown interest in the service you offer and provided a way for you to contact them. However, they are not yet engaged in a two-way conversation with you because you haven't reached out to them yet. We want to get in a two-way conversation. One thing that our team does, if you connect with people, you have to have at least a conversation about real estate to be contact or considered a contact or a connect. Has to be a real estate conversation back and forth,
So can we talk about that for a sec?
for sure.
What does that sound like without sounding salesy?
No, so what I do is I do Ford conversations. Ford is an acronym as well for what did it say?
Family,
Yep.
occupation,
So if you're afraid, your first conversation with your fear is most likely to get over the fear factor is to have this conversation.
we talked about this in a class last week, remember?
Family, occupation. What is it, dream?
What's the R?
Recreation.
That's right.
So, really quick. Karen, we haven't talked about, how's the family doing?
We're great.
Awesome.
Thanks for asking. How about you?
Really, really good. You know, Lennox is 16 months now. It's crazy that I have a son. So how's work been?
Good, very busy.
Yeah. And
Right.
I'll look in my CRM and I'll say, hey, are you still the team leader at that real estate company?
Yeah, yeah.
So what have you been doing? I know 2020 was kind of a weird year. Like, did you
Right.
have any new fun stuff that you're doing with the family?
We just, last weekend, we hosted a Hocus Pocus 2 family watch party in the backyard.
It's amazing. Mixed reviews, but a good movie. Who knows? Cool. So, you know, Karen, I know we always have these conversations and I always want to end on a good note. Like, what's something you guys are really striving for as a family? Like, what's one big dream you guys want to accomplish?
Well, we want the whole family to go away for my granddaughter's graduation next year.
Oh, where's that at?
Unknown.
Unknown. Congratulations. That's awesome. Cool. Hey, you know, I just wanted to, you know, follow up with you and make sure everything is, you know, going well. You know, you don't mind if I give you a call back some other time, do you? Just have these small conversations?
Yeah, anytime. Give me a call.
Okay, cool. My next call. Karen, how's everything going? I just
Good.
wanted to call you really quick. This is about a 5-minute call. It's a business conversation. Do you have
Okay.
time for me?
Yeah,
Hey, who do you
absolutely.
know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Oh, boy, let me think about that for a second.
Thank you for even taking the time. to think about it. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
appreciate
no
it.
problem. Well, I'm not really sure right now.
That's okay, as long as you know, and again, thank you for thinking of that.
Yeah,
You know, if something pops up, would you mind giving me their information or letting me know?
absolutely.
Great. Hey, have a great day. Thank you again. Keep me in the top of your mind. Appreciate it.
Will do.
The best 2 calls. First call, Ford family, occupation, recreation, dream. You're not pushing, you're not stepping over the line. You're having a normal, real conversation and be genuine. You want to work with you because they want to work with you because you're genuine. You care, they love you, right? So then, it's 5-minute conversation, you're not wasting their time. That was a 2-minute, that was like a
Right,
minute, right?
right.
So you can make it a little bit longer. Now, if it goes to where they say, hey, how's the market doing? Let's talk.
Yeah,
Let's step into
How
it.
long in between the 2 calls?
Up to you.
I hear some talking. I don't know if you're talking to us.
Yeah. What do we need?
Um,
Finish.
okay, so yeah, so it could be a week later.
Yep.
But
They muted.
It could be, yeah, it could be a week later. It could be 2 weeks later. I wouldn't wait more than a week to
Yeah.
call back again, because
Could-
you want
could be
to,
a
your,
month.
your goal is to
Maybe
stay
3
top of
weeks.
mind,
Yeah.
right? Your goal is to stay top of mind.
You know,
Typically how long?
sphere of influence within a month. I would say within a month. Like you're not, your four this is an awesome conversation. They're gonna wanna have this conversation again. So maybe that's like their third conversation, is going back to it and then give it in 2 weeks or something.
Be creative too in your follow-up. Like I talked about Hocus Pocus. So his family saw it. Hey, send a text. Hey, we saw Hocus Pocus too.
Yes.
We really
Awesome.
liked it. See, now I'm like creating a rapport and a relationship and staying in touch. And then I'm gonna make my business call.
So you have, so what you better be doing is when you have this conversation is, hey, the family got together, Hocus Pocus, great, write that down in your spine relationship management. If you go deeper into the occupation, write that down. If you go into the recreation, definitely write the dreams down. Who doesn't want to talk about that, And then the fun stuff. Cool. So, I mean, guys, that's family, occupation, recreation and dreams, however you want to word it. I thought it's pretty simple. It could be as straightforward as you want it to. Okay, so sorry to get a little off track, so leads, people who have earned the right to at least have a one-way conversation with you. Contacts are people you've held a two-way conversation with and who you've established a value-based relationship with. I would even go a step further and have had a conversation about real estate. So what are some examples of leads that you can think of? And I think we've gone over it. So it's people who follow you on social media. Your goal with social media is to get to 5,000 people as soon as possible. Once you start getting people that want to ask, who you are and become more of a friend, you can go through your 5,000 and start deleting the people that you think are spam and get the real people in. Once you get to 5,000, it kind of changes. You start to get more eyes on you.
The more you comment, the more engagement you're gonna get with people. And we heard last week too, that the algorithm in Facebook is picking up hearts more than likes. Remember that?
Yep.
So think about how you're using Facebook. If you're just liking stuff, you're not getting as big of a response from the liking as you would commenting and trying to create a relationship.
Now you can create a process around social media. It's a 5-5-1. It's
Yep.
where you're doing 5 likes, 5 hearts, 5 wows, or whatever, something of that nature. Then you're doing 5 comments, and then you're posting something.
Yep, we
Every
talked
day.
about that
Yeah.
also. Yep.
It's not very hard. Social media is fun and simple too. It's, Do we post something every day? No, I think you should. And it should be real estate, family, dreams, recreation, real estate,
And then get off.
and then get off.
Get off.
But here's the thing is, if you schedule your time for social media, you're not like always into it. You can say for an hour or 30 minutes or 15
Right.
minutes, I'm gonna do this.
Set your time timer.
Yeah. And it could be, it could literally be going through your Snapchat and I literally just say, oh yeah, that looks amazing. Oh, you guys are having so much fun. Enjoy. Done. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was a great time. All right, great. Going through and just saying, that looks good too, or doing a wow and people respond back, or, it looks like you're a great mom. That's awesome. Keep it up. Always stay encouraging, right? So people you meet at an open house, hey, thank you for coming in. This is as soon as they walk into the door. If you could please give me your name and your number, email, and if you're working with an agent or not, just write that down. Please take your shoes off. We want to respect their space. Okay, great. Sign in. Hopefully they give you the right information. And so you gather all that information. Now you can do one of two things, is call them that night. Hey, thank you so much for stopping in today. I really appreciate that. If you're looking for a great agent, I'd love to help. If you have any time this week, would you be willing to sit down and talk about the whole home buying process?
Have you been to an open house where the agent is just sitting in the kitchen and says, yeah, come on in?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been at in the open house where the agent says, hi, welcome, just go in the kitchen, sign in. If you have any questions, let me know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What about the open house? You walk in and you welcome them like you would if they were walking into your home, they were an invited guest.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Right? Yeah, because what you're doing is you're setting up the positive future for them to love this property.
And comfort level.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I would always, welcome to our home. When you're selling a house. When you're buying a home. People in your neighborhood, nothing wrong with, block parties, things of that nature. I know my brother's down in Jacksonville. He's not a realtor. He's in the Navy, but like that's the neighbor. You see all the bikes in his yard, like you can set that kind of camaraderie up. That's a great thing too. You just show you're an awesome person and people want to work with awesome people. So our database is organized into 2 buckets. All of our leads. So people that we need to call and talk to and get their information, and then contacts, name, number. I already have their name, their number, their address, their email. And if I don't, I would almost consider them still a lead. We still have more work to do. We need to get all of the info. All right. So leads and contacts, because the way to communicate with each segment is unique. 29. Okay, so once you have a lead, you need to create a relationship with that person. Now, I want to be careful with this because I've actually heard a story about a guy went fishing on a boat. Guys were talking about fishing the whole time. Guy's got 25 properties that owns the boat, and the realtor comes on the boat and they're just talking about fishing the whole time. That's it. Catch the fish, have a couple beer, whatever, hang out. Comes out to the guy that owns the boat, lists his 20 houses with another realtor. So the guy was pretty much said, "Oh, I didn't know you want to list my houses. I just thought you want to be my fishing buddy." So you kind of have to be very, very smart, know the nuances of when to separate that.
Purposeful.
Be
Yeah.
very purposeful. You could throw little scripts in there like, "Hey, you have 20 properties. That's amazing. Like, have you ever thought about listing 5 of them, 10 of them? I would love to be your realtor of choice in doing that." "Oh man, I caught a fish."
Ask for the business.
Add to the business.
I have a good example of that.
Yeah, sure.
Just 2 weekends ago, I was at a party and I met a contractor.
Yeah.
And I'm starting off in the business and I was like, and I told him, I was like, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm a realtor and I'm trying to find local vendors that I can suggest to some of my clients.
Perfect.
So would you mind like swapping information?" And people overheard the conversation. I ended up getting 2 leads from that.
2 leads from the party. Fabulous.
Social setting.
Exactly, yeah, and natural, not trying to, "Hey, guys, I'm in real estate."
Hey, buddy.
It's just kind of like, "Yeah, that's what I do. Let's talk."
Take 2 cards, 3 cards. So for me now, I want to play off of that a little bit too, is when I'm at social settings, I'm there to be social. Like, hey, I know you want to talk about real estate. That's awesome. How about this? Are you available like maybe Wednesday? We can get a cup of coffee, sit down and talk. Like let's enjoy ourselves tonight. Kind of maybe get to know each other a little bit and then get that appointment set that night. If you can set that appointment, that's awesome, right? Then you're gonna sit down there on Wednesday, next thing you know, now you're their realtor of choice. And you could, you don't have to help them out. I just literally say, "Yeah, man, I've been in the real estate business for a while now. We sell a lot of houses. I would love to sit down and talk with you in more of a more formal setting just to get to know each other and understand my business, how we work, how we operate, what our process is, so on and so forth." So keep in mind, there's a time and a place to do business, and then there's a time and a place to make sure that you just get these appointments. Just be mindful, that's all. E to P. All right, so once you have a lead, so this is just an introduction into what sustaining relationships look like, since we have a whole section on lead follow-up and Ignite. So we're just generating leads. So sustaining relationships is different. So it's what we see in the model is cultivating contacts for conversion. When we say conversion, we mean to move them from a lead or contact to an appointment. Converting a lead or a contact to an appointment means that your client has the intent to buy, sell, or real estate. You'll get so good to know, like, we need to spend more time with this person. I should probably be talking to them every day. Or even do this. How do you like to communicate? I really want to list your property. Is it okay if we talk once a week? I had a lady say, "I would love to talk twice a week." All right. I am sending her CMA information in her neighborhood every week. "Hey, just want to let you know, this is what's going on." Awesome. "Hey, how is I kept the notes. How is the deck coming along? Is it almost finished?" "He hasn't got all the pieces and parts yet. We're working on that." Awesome. CRM. Later in the week, "Hey, did all the pieces come in?" Things of that nature. Not much has changed in the market. It's only been a week, not a lot of new houses. Or if a new house comes up, I'll send them the new house and say, hey, you know, they're selling at this, your house is here, it looks like it's starting to trend a little bit forward. Don't be afraid to ask them how they want to communicate and how often. Okay. So relationships must be attended to, cared for, and cultivated. Pretty simple, right? Just not easy. So types of communication. All right. So look to the types of lead generation touches in your participation guide.
5.8,
So each time you reach out to a person in your database, that communication is called a touch. Each time you reach out and touch someone, right? So each time you reach out to a person in your database, communication touch, a purposefully planned series of touches is called a campaign. This is where we become purposeful. So a coordinated campaign of touches over time puts you front and center in people's minds when they think of real estate. These touches are how we nurture and strengthen our relationships. These touches are how we nurture and strengthen our relationships. Having someone in your data bank doesn't make them your clients. Remember that. Just because you have them in your system and you follow them doesn't mean they're going to work with you just yet. Reaching out to them consistently and systematically with value and deepening your relationship will lead them to choose you to be your client. So one way to consistently and systematically reach out to your database is through automated touches. So with Command, you have the access to smart plans and opportunities. These tools provide you with the option to automate your emails, automate your text message, and even set up a notification to remind you to call your leads or contacts, or how they prefer to be communicated to. Hey, they love to be texted, let's text them at this time. Or they prefer an email because they're at work. Let's be respectful to them, right? You don't want to talk to somebody the way they don't want to talk to you. It's terrible.
you know, you can create tasks in Command for yourself so that every morning when you wake up, you can go to your task, you can see what it is that you need to do so that you stay on top of it and you don't have to be remembering it.
So the purpose of that is let's simplify this job, these things that we have to do every day. So you don't have to think about what you're doing. It's like setting up your outfit the night before. Now we're setting up your whole week before. So I know on Monday, I'm following up with X. On Tuesday, lead generating. Wednesday, night open house. Awesome. Thursday, practice. Don't forget business cards with your, you know, for kids at school or their parents or something. I will tell you, it'll become a process when you build your process, you know, and then you're going to realize something doesn't work. You're always going to learn, fail, learn, succeed, learn, fail, learn, succeed, right? It's just always going to be cyclical. You're always going to be doing something and it's always going to be pushing through. So like with us on the Trib team, we have a process for our opportunities. I have to put everybody in that I have listed as an opportunity. I have to set up on our opportunities. It's part of our process. Our transaction coordinators won't move if I don't do that. So that's part of the process. What is your process? How does that work? What are your opportunities? What are your tasks? If you don't want to call them tasks, call it a success list. You know, what can I do to be successful today? Here's my list. All right. So a little mindset stuff, just way to change the way I think about stuff. All right. So smart plans and opportunities through Command. You're getting all their information and you're doing a drip campaign. Campaign. All right, client referral loop, 31. So the final piece of the model is the client and referral loop. Once the lead is converted to a contact, they can provide either new or repeat business, or they can provide referrals. So why do you think this is a part of the model is referred to as a loop? Why do you think that this is referred to as a loop? Anybody? Yeah, right, it's that simple, right? Like, I mean, it's cyclical, markets are cyclical, buying every 8 years, why would you not? How good does it feel to help somebody buy their first home and then be the realtor to sell that house? Yeah, that's a good feeling, you know why? Because you did your job, you followed up, you did your one step, kept following up, you added value throughout all the years. You're on top of the market, let them know when to sell.
You asked for a referral. They gave you a contact. You put them in the system. You connect with them, you meet them, you put them on a drip.
Same thing.
It's a complete circle, cycle, process and loop.
So don't forget that, you know, that's why your brand is so important on social media as well. You want to make sure that people stay in your loop. You don't want them throwing you out of your loop. All right, so this is referred to as a loop because regardless of the business they bring or how long it takes them to bring you business, they continue to stay in your database. So it is your job to continue to build and develop your relationship over time until they are ready to transact again or provide additional referral business. That was the 5-minute conversation that I had after I forwarded you. You said, who do you know who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Because we had such an awesome first conversation, that second conversation was super easy and smooth.
Did you catch that? If you haven't been to Bold yet, they teach you that whenever you're talking about real estate, you ask the 3 things. Who do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? Always the 3 things. Yeah.
All right, cool. Slide 32. All right, so put it all together. We got to Z pretty quickly. So lead generation never ends. It's a part of your foundation. Let's understand that lead generation is now a part of your foundation. It's ingrained in you. How many things do you do throughout your life that becomes a part of your process? Whether it's waking up in the morning, taking a shower, then putting deodorant on, then brushing your teeth, then so, you know, like now it's a business process. I wake up in the morning, I get dressed, I get to the office at a certain time, I script and role play for 15 minutes. I start making my calls because the calls I know I'm taking, I script and role play those anyways. I'm practicing on my accountability partner, and then I'm performing on my potential clients and customers and things of that nature. It should be time blocked daily for the best results. You know, Jeff Bezos takes his most important meeting at 10 o'clock. When do you operate at your highest level? What time you're scripting and role playing 15 minutes for what should be taken, like what's important to you? What time works best for you? Diana Kokoska says, know your trends. I know for some reason, fall is my season. I've proven it. You know, I'm going to do a ton of business right now. I just, for something about it, I know. So I prepared myself months ago to be prepped for now. Like, watch your trends, know what your things are. When do you sell the most? Honestly, that's just something about that. There's your energy built up for that for some reason. So now you know that you can start adding a few extra tasks in your life or success buttons. So be mindful of that. It should be time blocked because now you're eliminating choice. You know, now you're getting rid of your own options. That's awesome. So, and then determine the size of your business. And essentially it is the how that will help you reach the goals for starting this career. How are you going to do it? How do you want to run your business? You know, how do you want to be a business person? Like, what do you want to do? Who do you want to become? I guess is probably the biggest thing. Who do you want to become for your clients? I like that. So in our last section today, we're going to discuss time blocking for lead generation. Do I have any ahas, big ahas, little ahas, any ahas for now? Okay.
Fit from the whole day
It could be
or from this
whatever,
last,
something
from
just smacks you
or
in the face
time
when you're like, oh,
blocking?
yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. It probably could sound overwhelming. Does it sound overwhelming? There's a lot of information, but when, you know, you've heard that saying, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right?
Yeah.
So what we're telling you is that the most important thing in your business is lead generation, right? The most important thing in your business is lead generation. We've told you that your database is your business. If you don't have people to call upon, then you're not going to sell anything. So you have to lead generate to fill your database. So if you're just starting out, focus on that. Fill your database and begin a process to communicate with them. Begin a follow-up process. So how many contacts are you going to add to your database every day? 5, right?
Perfect.
Let's say 5. We're going to add
Start
5.
somewhere.
So how are you going to add 5 to your database? Are you going to an event next week? What's your strategy for that event? Are you going to get business cards? Are you going to invite them to an event that you're going to? Or what are you going to do at that event that would probably get you more than 5 leads that you can put in your database and start on some kind of a communication system with them to build rapport? It's just the Ford call, the first one. Hey, it was great to see you at the Chamber of Commerce outing last week. How's it going?
Got any good news?
Got any good news? Right. just try to get to know and build rapport over the phone the first time with the call. Maybe we should get together. There's somebody I want to introduce you to. We were talking about this. How about if we do that? Think of things that you have in common with that person to start out. That's another great way. But don't let it overwhelm you, all of the information. Focus on adding to your database every week and get your drip campaigns set up so that you can put them into the system so that you can move them from a brand new Met to a sphere of influence, right? An A person.
And not to mention, part of LP Mama, the A is the appointment. We're always shooting for the appointment. If you're going through the process and just talking to people, that's great. You need to sit down with them. Face to face is I still think today is the way to do the business. Unless you're working with investors and you want to do Zoom calls and you want to go video the houses, that's your business. You want to work with investors. I love to work with face-to-face people. It's up to you, however you want to work. How do you want to do your business? That's it. All right, cool.
Are we gonna do the activities?
Sure,
Or-
I'm here. I don't know.
Okay,
Tell me.
I don't know how much time we need for, you want to do the time blocking and then we can come back to the activity? Okay, all right. Yep, let's finish that.
That's, I'm a sphere as well. Categorizing your sphere, we don't need to do that, do we?
Go ahead with time blocking.
Build your sphere day by day, maybe? Build your sphere day
It's,
by
it's
day.
not, there's a difference between the facilitator guide and the participant
Okay.
guide.
Expanding. Oh, shnikes. Gather. Today's agenda, like deeper. Track your lead sources, audit your lead sources, diversify your database, be consistent.
Let's just move on to time blocking.
Where is it at?
Oh.
Oh, here it is. Okay, right here.
Okay,
Yeah, so slide 53.
I'm gonna go really quick over to time blocking. There we go.
Okay, so I don't say that I want to say I'm an advocate for Bold, but I definitely am. Bold is a great class. Gary Keller says if you've taken it 10 times, you're a master realtor. I've taken it 8 in about 8 years, and I really think that there's one thing that holds true to any saying. I love saying, but if it's not scheduled, it doesn't exist. How many people are free? Oh my God, I forgot to go, that I had to be there at 9. Well, why didn't you put it in your schedule? Now people think you're unreliable. That's the worst thing. So we need a time block for your lead generation time because you want to be reliable to your business, right? So there's one additional best practice, that is time blocking your lead generation time and protecting that time book. So how will you ensure that your lead generation time is a priority? Have you been making your daily success system a priority? Does this matter to you? Does your business matter to you? Do you really care about it? So top agents time block lead generation first. Most top agents lead generate for 3 or more hours a day. It's best to schedule lead generation time. That is, take action on your job 1, which is lead generation, before anything else. So nothing else matters until the first thing is done, right? And I know it sounds gross, but you eat the biggest, hairiest frog first, and then you can hop on, right? So, yeah, great, right? So you have to do the things that suck the most first. And if you hate lead generation, let's do that first. Let's get that out of the way. You'll feel accomplished after that, I promise. And if you're doing it daily, it becomes a part of your habit. And once your habits really dictate how far you can go in this business. So you've been doing this in your daily success system since the beginning of Ignite, and you will continue with the schedule after Ignite for your entire career. Your schedule will be the most important thing to you. You will protect it. It'll be an asset to you. And if you're busy, put busy in your calendar. Don't let people take away your time from you. Like I can't tell you how serious that is. It's your time. You guys have earned it. You have the value of being a great realtor. Your time is important to you. You need to, you dictate how it goes. If you can't show a house at a certain time, then you ask if they can work in your schedule. Now, there's gonna be times where, would you get to $1 million listing? 100%, you know, you can move that schedule a little bit, but how important is it to you? What's the value?
And then what do you do with the lead gen time that you just took up with something else?
You have to replace it.
You have to find another time during the day to do it. It's super important. If you're a person that makes their bed every single morning and you come home from work and you're going to change your clothes, put your workout clothes on, or what are you doing? You see your bed unmade. It makes you feel uncomfortable. You didn't do something in the order. You didn't get something done that was important to you. It feels the same way once you get going in your lead generation. It's in your calendar. You're doing it every single day. You've eaten that big hairy frog and it's done. If you get through the day and you haven't done it, it begins to feel like I did not have a successful day because I didn't get that done. So your mindset, you got to prepare yourself for it in the morning. Do your 15 minutes of script practice. That's included in that lead gen time, 15 minutes of script practice. Know who you're going to call. Your list is already put together. You know who you're going to call that day, right?
Are you doing your DTD2s? Like what letters are you on this week? Which is, you know, are you calling your cell phone contacts? Are you doing E's and G's today? Are you doing Y's and L's? Are you gonna go through your open house list that you had yesterday? Are you gonna go through your other days? Are you gonna do social media? You know, hey, I just want to remind you, I'm a realtor. If you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, would you let them know that I can help them? Simple, right?
The DTD2 is awesome. If you just put in the search engine, Keller Williams DTD2, you will find it with the instructions and it will help you to understand. But it keeps you in contact in a comprehensive way with all of the people in your database or in your phone, whichever one you're
And
using.
it eliminates your thinking essentially of what am I doing today? Like, let's eliminate that. Let's already know.
Yep.
All right, so preparing your mindset to success. What are your affirmations? If not me, who? If not now, when? That's mine. I always go, you know, good, better, best, never let it rest. Your good is better and your better is best. Like that's something simple, but it like gets me in the tune or time to get fired up. You know, like if you can get yourself intense and ready to rock and roll, that's what I need to do. Practice conversations with a partner. I'll just call CJ. Hey, CJ, saw that you had an inquiry about the property on 123 Main Street. I was just curious, how can I help you today? And we'll just get into the role playing right then and there. You know, and then he'll do the same thing. We'll literally hang up and then he'll call me. So practice conversations with the partner, prepare a call list in advance of contacting people. It's like making your bed when you get up in the morning. It's like getting your clothes ready for the next day. Who are you calling? So, and then have conversations. Your best thing is, yes, you will be scripted and you can always go back to your script, but you need to be there. You need to, all of this preparation, your mindset is to be where you are and have that is the most important thing at that time is that one conversation. People need to feel heard, understood. You guys need to be like in that conversation, then the next. Gather as much information as you can with all your lead generating and your scripting. So maintain an up-to-date database by putting in notes from your conversation. So I called my top 50. Here's some new notes. I called my top 100. Here are all my new notes. You have prepared yourself for the next conversation. That's why you just need to be in that conversation to prepare you for the next as well. So don't be afraid of that. And then follow up on any commitments or promises made. So, oh, you know what? I have that vendor list. I'll send that to you today. Oh yeah, that was awesome. He's coming over to redo my steps tomorrow, or my roof is not leaking anymore. You are the best. I'm going to refer you to everybody. Can I have your vendor list for so-and-so? Awesome. Yeah, give me their information. I'll send it to them. And I'll say that you were the one that let me do it. Is that cool? Good. All right.
So own your morning, own your day. Have you heard that before? If you do your lead generation and the things that have to get done, your big hairy frogs in the morning, then the rest of the day you have to go on appointments and follow up. Follow up is not lead gen. Remember that follow up is not lead gen. That's separate
Different.
timing on your calendar, but it's important to do that. So is that about it on the time blocking? Because we do have some activities here.
One more is
Okay.
54, then
Okay.
that would be good.
Awesome.
This is probably the most important part.
Gotcha.
So lead generation is hands down, without a doubt, no competition, your number one most important thing to do in order to succeed in this business. Therefore, you must mark off time to do it and do it well. There are 4 key things you can do to protect your lead generation time block once you set it. So build a bunker. You need to find somewhere to work that takes you out of the path of disruption and interruption. If you need to come into the office to make your calls, come into the office. If you're at home and your kids are at home, you need to lock your door. You need to stack provisions for them, stack provisions for yourself, find somebody maybe to watch them. I don't know. Close that door. You know, maybe put a sign if you're in the office or somewhere else, say, do not disturb lead generation time. So where you work to avoid distractions, that's probably the biggest thing. Where's your bunker at? Store provisions, so have supplies, materials, snacks, beverages you need on hand to avoid leaving your bunker. So what provisions will you have in place? Food, water, etc. Sweep for minds. This means anything that will distract you or take you off your focus. So turn off your phone. You know, you're only doing outbound calls, and you can answer your texts and emails later. Shut down your email or exit your internet browser. Shut the TV off, maybe some quiet music in the background or something. Or have your success list ready for you so you're staying on task. So what distractions will you remove? You know, that's something for you guys to decide. What is in your way? What's in your way?
My dog. My dog distracts me all the time.
That's the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big distraction, right? So, you know, what part of your morning process helps you eliminate that distraction? You can prepare yourself before. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. You should be prepared anyways, right? So enlist support. So tell those most likely to seek you out and what you're doing and when you'll be available, who will help you. So, you know, sorry, honey, I really need you to take, you know, Lennox somewhere else for a couple hours, or, you know, or is this a great day for me to go and find another bunker somewhere else?
Or, yeah, if your bunker's at home and those darn dishes in the sink are calling your name, then maybe you need to create your system so the dishes are done the night
The night
before, and then nobody's screaming at you.
Always the night before. So tell those most likely to see out what you're doing and when you'll be available. So build a bunker, protect yourself from any disruptions and interruptions, store provisions, have supplies so you don't have to leave. If you need to bring a fridge into that room, go for it. Sweep for minds, so no distractions at all. Except for like the one thing that you have to do that morning, which is lead generate, and then enlist support, which really just means tell your distractions if they are able to be talked to, like, I can't right now. Or have a really nice, like if somebody's calling you, just a really nice, you can hit that little text, say, thank you for your patience, I can't talk right now, or talk soon. Or I'll call you after 11:30. You know, you can put an away email saying, I'm busy right now. I'll get back to you around 12 to 2. That's when I'll be calling people back. It's okay. And people respect that. Yes, hi.
So, I have a question.
Awesome.
My issue with having lead generation in the morning is most people are working, so I often do it in the afternoon or right around lunch break. I start it and I try to have as many conversations as I can then, or even like after my kid gets home from school, like after between 3 and dinner time, people are getting off of work and we're able to have like 5-minute conversations easier.
Go for it.
Is that?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. And also think about, we have cell phones now and many people are working from home. If it's just a 5-minute conversation, it's a great time to say, when's a better time for me to call you back? Right? So think about if your time block is from 9 to 11 or during the day, and you think that people are going to be working and they don't. We talked about this a little bit. Your unconscious mind is going to try and talk you out of anything that feels uncomfortable, right? So you don't think about it. You set the time, you make the calls. If they don't answer, you have an opportunity to leave a message and follow up with a text. See how I said that? Leave a message and follow up with a text. And then you'll try them. You're marking down what time you called. If you've called during that time block 3 times and you're not getting through to them, then put a task for yourself to call them after 5. But don't let that stop you from creating that time block and making those calls. If you get 1 answer in 12 calls, that's a good return. That's a really good return. So you're going to go for the no. so that you can get to that 12th call and they're going to answer the phone. You just keep going. You don't let yourself talk yourself out of it at all. Right?
Yeah, and this is kind of interesting too, is I'll call people and I go, it sounds like you're pretty busy. No reason to call me back. I'll contact you again tomorrow. I'm not afraid. Like, what does it matter? They're like, oh, man, now they're like, oh, I haven't talked to you. I feel bad. I haven't been dodging you, I promise. Just fine.
Right.
But at least now you have their full attention. They're ready to talk to you. You still gotta do it. The good thing is like, I don't care when you do it, you're doing it. That's it. That's an action. You're taking action. You can't beat that.
If you're bold enough to do something funny, my daughter shared with me.
Yeah.
She sent me a text with an image of a skeleton sitting at the desk with the phone on. It says, I've been trying to reach you. I'm still here. So, you could be funny about it. People have lives and they're busy. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. Most likely not.
Pressure them and talk to you.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure that they're still, I'm calling you because I'm on top of mine. I want to be your realtor of choice. That's it. I mean, just do it. And if it's a part of your process and you just happen to be calling these people this day, I would, then do it every Thursday. Like, oh, she's calling me again. That's all. I'll answer this time. Cool. Sweet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we have an activity. If you will please go to page 5.9. I would like you to do this. I want you to look at it and be thinking about it. I want you to start writing in as you think of people in these boxes. That's not the activity that I want you to do right now. I want you to go to the next page. The activity that we want to do is build your SOI day by day. We talked a little bit about the lead generation or the lead sources, right? The last activity we did was lead sources. This time I want you to write down, get your phones and your calendars out. What are the upcoming things on your calendar that where you will see other people? I want you to write down what it is, who are you going to be with, where it's at, and when. And if you don't have one activity, at least one activity a week where you're around other people, a group of people, you need a plan for that group. But if you don't have one in there, then go find something that you can add in. Maybe you love painting, so find a paint and sip. You're going to meet new people at a paint and sip, or find activities that you can go to where you're going to meet new people and try to have one for every week for Q4. That will help you build your database. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start now, and we're going to come back in 5 minutes. All right. Thank you. All right. Page 5.9. people. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I want to encourage you to finish that every week through the rest of the Q4, quarter 4. I want you to finish strong, have an activity, something every single week. We're gonna be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. As you know, from 9 to 11. This will be session 6 will be on. And if you are joining us via Zoom, please remember that camera's on. That's the expectation. Yep, it's difficult to participate. I'm sorry that you can't hear what's going on in the breakout sessions, but come and show up live. I know that David, the people that are on Zoom they have to have a special circumstance that they can't be live because it is a live event, but thank you all for being here today. Finish your homework. All right, see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
It's not more, the weapons like.